As chairman of the committee, I am deeply honored to welcome everyone and preside over this meeting, and at the same time, feel excited that we are now officially starting our legislative work. Allow me to express my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to all of you who have responded positively to our notices and invitations. Of course, to our committee secretariat for doing well with this top work. Today, this 20th Congress marks the formal beginning of our collective responsibility to deliberate thoroughly and expeditiously the committee's legislative agenda to meet its deadline. The work of this committee is vital. With the recent turn of events, it is incumbent upon us, members of Congress, that these laws creating government agencies shall serve its intended purpose effectively, eliminates redundancy, and more importantly, maximizes public resources. I trust that through our shared commitment and collaboration, with the knowledge, expertise, and insights from our resource persons, we can craft meaningful laws. I therefore enjoin every member of this committee, and together with our partners in the executive branch and other stakeholders, to join me in this journey as we legislate this most pressing law that will address the government's resolve and commitment to be honest service and responsible stewardship of public resources. Thank you, and may our deliberations today bring us closer in shaping a sound and effective law to transition the anti-corruption mandate from a transitory executive policy for laboratory change, armed with the necessary independence and statutory authority to effectively prosecute and deter corruption across all levels of government involved in infrastructure projects. Maraming salamat po. I recognize the Honorable Madam Leila M. De Lima of the Mamayang Liberal. Thank you, ma'am. The first part of this meeting, the Secretariat has prepared organizational briefing kits containing the committee's mandate, membership, proposed internal rules of procedure that we are going to adopt for the 20th Congress, the committee referral, and the committee fact book containing information about the Committee on Government Reorganization, its accomplishments, and many more. Copies of the organizational kits were earlier distributed to the committee members. The proposed file of the internal rules of procedure was emailed to each member as you read the reference. Let us now consider the principles and the rules that will govern the direction and action of the committee. Do I hear a motion to approve the proposed internal rules of procedure for the 20th Congress, unless you have some comments, amendments, or inclusions?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the internal rules for this committee.
It has been moved and seconded that the proposed internal rules of procedure for the 20th Congress hereby approved. May I direct the committee secretary to include the same? Do I hear a motion to include also the comments, the amendments, and the inclusions raised by the members? There's none. Motion is approved. On motion duly seconded, the internal rules and procedure of the Committee on the 20th Congress is hereby approved. May I take this opportunity to inform everyone that last Monday, October 3, 2025, this committee convened a technical briefing in a hybrid format regarding the proposed establishment of the Independent Commission Against Infrastructure Corruption, as delineated in House Bills numbers 4453 and 5699. Several members, authors, and resource persons actively engaged in discourse with the resource persons. Notably present in person were Congressman Irice, Indanya, San Fernando, Matong, and Marcoleta, while those who participated remotely via Zoom, including Honorable Laila de Lima, Congressman Presidente, among others. The ICI, AMLA, Ombudsman, the DOJ, DBM, and COA articulated your overarching perspectives and preliminary observations in the two bills and engaged with the members and authors. During this meeting, significant issues were raised, such as empowering the proposed independent commission against infrastructure corruption with authorities pertaining to compulsory processes, citation for contempt, issuance of hold departure orders, HDO, and watch list orders, WLO, as well as provision of personnel and budgetary allocations for the Independent Commission Against Infrastructure Corruption in the General Appropriations Act, the GEA. For purposes of expediency, let us now proceed to the second part of the meeting. For the second segment of the meeting, let us now proceed to the discussion of the Independent Commission Against Infrastructure Corruption bills. House Bill number 4453, titled an Act establishing an independent commission to investigate the mass appropriation of funds for flood control and other infrastructure projects, enduring it with extensive investigative and subpoena powers, providing for a secretariat and for other purposes, authored by Representatives Honorable Leila M. de Lima, Adrian Michael Amatong, Arlene Kaka-J. Bago, Principal V. Sandanya, Jose Manuel Tadeo Chel Jokno, Edgar R. Irice, Jaime R. Prisnedi, Dada Kiram Ismula, Hilo Cristel Magman, Paulo Henry Marcoleta, Elijah San Fernando, and Alfonso V. Umali Jr. And House Bill number 5699, titled an Act establishing the Independent Commission Against Infrastructure Corruption, authored by Representative Tobias Toby M. Chanco. But before we proceed, may I invite the authors of the Independent Commission Against Infrastructure Corruption bills to deliver your brief sponsorship remarks on the bills. May I ask Congressman Honorable de Lima, one of the principal authors, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of this committee, the honorable co-authors of House Bill 4453 and the author of the other House Bill 5569, the honorable, the esteemed resource persons in today's committee hearing. Magandang hapon po. First, I wish to adopt what was expressed in the explanatory note of House Bill 4453. I happen to be the lead author of the bill with 12 other authors. Let me further express these remarks. Once again, our nation finds itself drowning, both literally and figuratively. In the past weeks alone, Typhoons Tino and Super Typhoon Uwan have ravaged large parts of our country, bringing with them torrential rains and flash floods that have killed hundreds and displaced thousands of families while destroying billions worth of properties. In Cebu and Negros Island regions, massive flooding submerged entire communities, paralyzing local economies, destroying roads, bridges, livelihoods, and homes, some of which were supposedly protected by flood control projects that have now failed when they were needed most. These disasters have laid bare not only our vulnerability to climate events, but also the devastating consequences of corruption. Mr. Chair, billions of pesos, hard-earned taxpayers' money have been lost, not to the forces of nature, but to the ravages of greed. During the Senate budget briefing, with the Development Budget Coordination Committee last September 2, 2025, the Honorable Finance Secretary Ralph Recto revealed that the Philippine economy may have lost between 42.3 billion and 118.5 billion in just the past 2 years due to corruption in flood control projects. These funds could have been spent on meaningful services and programs that should have benefited Filipinos and contributed to economic growth, but were instead lost to corruption. Mr. Chair, we are facing the biggest corruption scandal in the history of our country. We are in a moral crisis, one that is literally costing lives. Sa malubhang epekto ng dalawang bagyong yun, Tino at Uwan, nagtatanong ang taong bayan, where did the billions in flood control funds go? The answers point to one truth: corruption kills. It kills through neglect, incompetence, and greed. While our people are wading through murky floodwaters, corruption continues to flow freely through our bureaucracy. This is why this representation, along with our co-authors, are proposing or have proposed House Bill number 4453 on the creation of an independent commission against infrastructure corruption, or ICAIC, that will thoroughly investigate corruption in flood control and other government infrastructure projects. The commission will, among others, be empowered to conduct independent and comprehensive investigations into anomalies in infrastructure spending, recommend prosecution and file cases, both administrative and criminal, against erring officials and private entities, and propose systemic reforms in procurement, auditing, and project monitoring to ensure this does not happen again. Mr. Chair, bagamat nakikita natin na may pag-usad ang mga kasalukuyang investigasyon ng ICI, under Executive Order 94, kulang na kulang pa po ito. Given the magnitude of its task, the ICI must be strengthened. It must have the power to cite in contempt. It should be provided with sufficient manpower, and it should be given adequate budgetary support, among other improvements that both bills, House Bill 4453 and 556, wish to address or wish to provide. Napakahalaga ng isang institusyon na nag-iimbestiga sa ganito kalawak na katiwalian at kalaking sindikato sa gobyerno at pribadong sektor ay may sapat na kapangyarihan at resources para matupad ang kanyang mandato. We therefore call on our colleagues in the House to swiftly pass this bill while strongly urging the President to certify this measure as urgent. Our people are asking for justice. Let us give them that justice through accountability, transparency, and truth. Let us not squander a moment more. Kagyat po dapat na isabatas ang House Bill 4453. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable De Lima, for your insights and initiative in establishing the Independent Commission against Infrastructure Commission. May I ask Congressman Yokno for a remark? Comment, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, honorable members of the committee, and team guests. I respectfully concur and adopt the comments of Congresswoman De Lima. May I just emphasize the urgency of acting on these House bills so that we can give more teeth to the Independent Commission. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you po, Honorable Yokno, for your insightful perspective on the bill. May I recognize Congressman Iresi?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Iyayanig po, lumulumog, nag-aapoy ang buong bayan. Hindi dahil sa mga lindol, bagyo o sunog. Kundi dahil dito sa malalim na kinakaharap nating krisis. Our nation now is in deep crisis. We should not be in denial of that. We must realize that we are facing a political, not only political, but economic and moral collapse. Iyayanig tayo ng kabi-kabilang istorya, hindi matapos-tapos, ng korupsyon. Hindi milyon, hindi bilyon, kundi bilyon-bilyon umaabot na ng trilyon.